Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Our guest today is Caterina Borotlussi, fashion designer and the co-founder of Kinabuti, an established ethical enterprise based here in Lagos. She's the catalyst I spoke about earlier because through her platform, a lot of younger people have gotten their big break. Just talking to her, I think I'm going to get a bigger break. Welcome to the morning show.
Hello.
Am I getting a bigger break?
No, you already are. You already are.
It's good to have you on the morning show.
Same here, same here.
So,
I love your outfit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So every time I see non-Nigerians in Nigeria doing something significant, I'm wondering, like, why Nigeria? You know, of all the countries around the world, I'm all for traveling. I love to travel. So I'm not even asking, like, why you're here. I'm just saying, why did you pick Nigeria to be the spot you're creating this change?
To be honest, when I moved to Nigeria in 2006, it was more like a chance. You know, when God has shows you a way, but you don't really have an idea. So I moved to Nigeria and I started working for a company. And it was supposed to be a 2-month project, and it transformed into a choice
12 years.
Yes, 12 years. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. The only thing I knew is that I wanted to do something bigger. I was in London working for an investment bank, and I wanted to use my talents in a different way. So when I moved to Nigeria, which, you know, was very different from where I was from, I saw something that really inspired me. I saw that in a place like Nigeria, dreams can become a reality. Also a dream of somebody that comes from the countryside and wasn't really exposed to the world. And that's why, you know, since my arrival in Nigeria, I started working towards that. And I guess also, you know, like Nigeria inspired me in different ways, not just to do something about yourself, but something that can have an impact.
Right.
And that's why, you know, even before with the communication agency we started in 2007, and then Kinabuti, the idea was always create an impact.
Right.
And before it was the women with Kinabuti, you know, and, you know, transferring skills. And then it was the youth. And
right.
the real potential of Nigeria is the people.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you do not agree with the statement that was made recently saying Nigerian youth are lazy?
Well, I've been following it on Instagram, and I must say that since I've been doing Dare2Dream, I became really aware of the potential and the intelligence of Nigerian youths. I do not believe they are lazy. I believe in your 20s, you might... That is the truth. I think that really start working at the university gave me a totally different outlook.
Right.
And I must say that the entire Dare2Dream team is made by youths. And I guess, you know, sometimes it's just creating the right avenues for them to succeed.
Right.
You know, it's not difficult when, you know, like the system is not in place, but I guess everybody of the youth you encounter, they are talking in terms of business currency. They want to become entrepreneurs. So, I believe it's out of place. And I believe that actually, you know, like speaking also with other people internationally that are following the discussion is like, you know, like it's actually the opposite, you know, like start thinking that maybe a dialogue has been started about entrepreneurship, and now what can be done to enable them to succeed.
Exactly. I was having the conversation, and for me, it's just like, it almost sounds like he's detached from what's really happening. You know, for you to make a statement like that, then you don't really know what's happening among the youth. Well, let's bring it back to Kinabuti. What led to you starting a fashion label? I see you looking fashionable here. Snap, snap. You look really nice. Yes, but what led to you now creating your own label?
Okay, so it was always my dream. So I grew up in the village from farmers. And I had this dream of, you know, fashion. You know, you see it in television and say, I want to do this, you know. But it always seemed so far away, and I didn't have any formal education. And I let my dream on the, you know, on the back, you know, like say, it will never become a reality. But I guess, when you have a dream, your life will not be completed unless you fulfill that dream.
I'm going to tweet that. When you have a dream, your life will not be complete unless you fulfill that dream. My PA, please tweet that. Just kidding.
So I actually went for it, and then, we attached the ethical aspect to it. And I must say, it's been a very difficult and challenging route, but it's also been very fulfilling. We were featured in Vogue, we were featured in Vanity Fair, we managed to have our clothes at Sundance International Film Festival. Wow. And fashion is very difficult. And at this point, with the fashion label, we are taking a little bit of a break.
Right, okay. But I know that you harp a lot on ethical.
Yeah.
So what does that ethical stand for? What does that mean to your company and your brand?
Our company means empowerment.
Right.
So it means transferring skills. You cannot... there is a lot, as we said, there is a lot of untapped potential, but unless you harness that potential into a value chain, into a value creation or income generation, the economy will never bloom to its full potential, because everything is in the people. Yeah. So for Kinabuti, we're now starting a new project called the Urban Fashion Lab. And Francesca is actually in Yaba, talking with the different stakeholders.
And Francesca is your partner.
My business partner.
Your business partner, great.
So this project actually is very close to our hearts, and it's the first time we are actually able to extend the project for 2 years. And it's starting now, and it involves fashion-related skills like sewing, silk screening, but also carpentry that are also important to make shoes, or anyway, they are very relevant also for people, and we're trying to connect different stakeholders to transform informal economy, imagine the tailor, by himself, trying to run a business, and transform into a more formal, creating small center of production with 1 or 2 people, where there is one head of production, tailors, connected in a value chain. Right. To be able to augment the value and the income that can be generated.
Right, so you're basically scaling their businesses, but no longer on a personal level. You're giving them the opportunity to work with other people in related fields, and you're training these people. Yeah. That's amazing what you're doing. It really is amazing.
Thank you.
How do you shortlist these people? Where do you find them? I know you said Francesca is in Yaba right now.
She's in Yaba.
Is she going there to scout?
Well, Yaba has been, Orile mainly, has been our... We started in Port Harcourt, in the communities in the waterfront. From there...
Yeah, we had someone from Port Harcourt. We had Bertha here.
Yes,
Bertha Amuga.
she was actually... Bertha, it was actually from our very first project.
Wow.
Very strong story.
Wow.
Very strong. It's very beautiful to see her succeeding, and actually she's our neighbor. No, I swear. She lives opposite to us.
Wow.
So it's really it's the true empowerment.
Wow,
But
well done.
I believe that what is also important to realize for the youths is that success doesn't come overnight. It's really a matter of hard work. But going back how we scout, since we moved our projects into Lagos, although we are still active in Port Harcourt, we basically go through different channels, and there are local NGOs, so we work with 2 local NGOs, and we start selection. And that's how we start. We see hundreds of people, and we shortlist the people for our training. Okay. Our training, they never have too many people.
Right, right. So about how many people in a class? And then how do
15.
15.
Per I would say, module.
Okay, okay.
Because if you get more, the teacher will not be able to really follow the people.
Each person's progress.
And you really want that the person that comes out for the training can really make a jump forward. Yeah. And I remember the other day I was cycling and I was in Banana Island, and I hear somebody calling, Kinabuti! And I'm like, okay. So I stop and I said, I'm Ezekiel. I said, okay. And he was from, the second training.
Oh, wow.
And he said, I'm now the head of production for my... So that is what really gives us life and to see that they were able to scale up. So now, that was the beginning, single people. But now it's creating systems.
Right.
So that's why Francesca today, she's in Yaba, she's talking to Yabatech, because we want to include the people coming out from the Yabatech University that have been already trained into fashion and give them managerial skills and the ability to manage a team.
Oh my goodness, you're blowing my mind right now.
Well, you know, it's funny that how God operates because actually the idea, you know, when people start talking to you, just connect the dots. And this is, we actually trying to implement a model from Brazil that they start putting into place because things didn't work. And it can actually work for Nigeria because people always talk about mass production. You cannot pass from one tailor to mass production. There are some economies of scale that you need to understand. There are some costs that it can be run, and there is a demand. The demand is in the people. It's 180 million people that they still like to make their clothes. And at the same time, we connect these production centers that we will be creating of 1 to 3 people, 3 people minimum, to production, existing production outfits that are already producing, and they can start outsourcing. In times where there is a bigger production, maybe they are not be able to fulfill the demand. So you can bring in these people that they will always work as small, medium entrepreneurs.
Right, wow. And what you guys are doing, it's so mind-blowing because it's not just you alone now. You work with corporate organizations. So I know you work with FCMB, you partner with them, and you have the Dare2Dream platform. And that's like the big break platform.
Thank you so much.
Tell me more about Dare2Dream.
So I guess that for me and Francesca, Dare2Dream is like really like our biggest passion and the most beautiful project. And it was really to take empowerment to another level and working with the youths. So when it comes to youths, youths have passion in music and entertainment. They all want to become designers, models, or you know, singers, dancers. So we started inspired by the first project we did where Berta was part of. That was about Scotty model. We started and basically we took their dream of making a big break entertainment and we basically wanted to transform these youth, channel their talents into entrepreneurship. Even if you become a big dancer, you need to be able to manage your
structure.
So now we are in a couple of months. By June, we will be rolling out with season 5. And season 5 is our, you know, like we're getting number 5. So we're really bringing the digital skills to another level. So these talents, now we want them to go through a total social media academy. So from the moment you register for the call for entry, you have to start doing assignments, writing essays, and of course perform on stage, and everything will be part of your score. By the time you reach the boot camp, you know, like you already went through a lot of
different classes, courses.
And we also got YouTube and Google to be part with the Digital Skills Acquisition Academy. So it's really like a very mind-blowing, and you see how they change. Because I believe that in today's world, the way of communicating has totally changed. You know, you cannot rely on traditional media, but also user-generated content has become king. And people do not believe anymore, like in general, before, you know, media, institutions, brands were dictating the way communication was happening.
That's changing now.
It's changing totally. So if you educate the youths to really be able to generate content and to use that power and to influence their peers, it can really change the way, it can really affect their way, their ascension, you know, career-wise. They can start working with brands and they can start monetizing it.
Which is very important.
Very important.
Which is very important because that's what makes it sustainable, you know. If you're not making money from it, if you can't make a living from it, then it's not sustainable. I'm ready to pick up my phone now. Just let me know where to pick up. But we have a clip from season 3. Let's take a look.
Previous day keeps running through my head, and I keep asking myself, how well did I perform in Juliana's class? How good was I in the presentation? Did I really sing well in Fiona's class? It's going to be a very long day.
last day of your mentorship at FCMB. We're going to start with Zaina Bashado. She's a designer. She's an amazing entrepreneur. And we have another amazing entrepreneur. She's not just a celebrity. She's a film director and producer. They're not just beautiful, yeah? They have a brain and they use their brain. So we want them to share their story and you can ask them questions.
Stephanie Okemeke, she's an actress and I'm so happy to see her live.
One of the things we have to teach our girls is your own kind of sense of self is very, very important. You must define yourself by yourself. You don't wait for anybody else to kind of tell you who you are. And it takes a lot of time and hardship and overcoming challenges to become comfortable with yourself. But once you are, then things are a little bit easier. You have to be interesting. You have to have character. You have to read. You have to keep being very curious about everything. Keep that child alive inside of you. Stay true to yourself. Work very, very, very hard, and you can be whatever you want to be. That's really the key thing.
It's good that we have young women who are looking forward to, becoming a better version of themselves.
She's really good. As in, any part she gets, it's as if she's the person there.
You can see very funny. You can see the excitement. Like, oh, I mean, if I was in the same room with Stephanie, I probably would be staring at her as well.
No,
she's done amazing.
She's done,
and
she's
got fantastic people. I love Zashadu.
Yeah, she's very talented, and she exports abroad.
Yeah.
So she's a very good example of somebody that can turn her craft into revenues.
Exactly, which is what you're talking about.
Yes.
And again, like, it's not just about the singing competition.
No.
It's not just an acting. It's like 360 degrees grooming. That's
and
what you're doing.
Exhausted. Did you see the beginning? She was like,
no time for makeup there. No time for makeup. But so you have 3 winners from this competition.
Yes.
And what do they win?
So basically, we have a winner per category.
Okay.
And what they win money. They win 500,000 naira.
I'll take it.
Then, yes, then we bring them abroad. Like the last person you saw in the clip was Cordelia. She went to Milan.
Oh, nice.
And we are leaving next week. We're going to Zurich.
Wow.
For a massive show called the Energy Fashion Night, organized by Ringier International.
That's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. It's the biggest fashion entertainment event happening in Switzerland. And they will be there. And they will also be visiting the media house and, do a photo shoot. And they actually, for this experience, they started utilizing the digital media skill, the model, the dancer, and the beatboxer, because we are the beatboxer winner.
Nice.
They started a campaign called Africaness.
Wow.
So utilizing and involving their peers into being part, when, what's the name, when Trump said, the famous quote, and because they are going to Zurich, and, abroad, many times Africans, they are regarded as immigrants. So they say, you know what, we're not immigrants. We are here to export our talents.
Great, because I was going to talk about that. Like, I hope these kids are now not going to be encouraged to go and seek greener pasture outside. Like, are they taught to, like, stay here and contribute to the economy
That's why this campaign came about, is about encouraging the youths to talk about what is their export outside, like a Zainab exporter bags. And definitely, because to be honest, the real opportunities are here. What the youth are realizing is that the outside, the other parts of the world, they look greener, but actually the economy is stagnant. And Nigeria is such Africa.
It's growing.
It's growing.
Africa rising, sister.
Africa rising. I believe that. I'm here. I'm an immigrant.
You are here. Okay, so what initiative do you have going on now? I know you have something coming up soon.
Yes, we're going to Zurich next week. And so that's big. So we are preparing for that. And then we will be starting season 5.
Okay.
So that's basically, these are the main big initiative. And season 5, we have prepared a brand new manual for the winners, essays, and we also, this time, for season 5, we are taking the youth more, we are engaging the youth more, so they are basically part of the entire production of Dare2Dream and the communication. So we are really pushing the agenda of micro influencers.
Amazing, amazing, Caterina. What you're doing is amazing. Yes. Well, we have to go on a short break now. And yes, you've got your big break. Everyone knows your name. But how do you ensure lasting success?
Yes.
We'll find out after the break. Stay tuned.